Welcome to Be Doing Good. I'm Elder Duersch. I'm your host, and let's dive right in. Before we start, though, I want you to have this question in mind as you watch, listen, or, stare aimlessly at this video. The question is, what do you do to prepare yourself for every situation you encounter? Alright, so last time we ended with Joseph's second failure to get the plates. With time, people would hear about Joseph's ability to use the seer stone. One of these people was Josiah Stowell. In the fall of 1825, Josiah would hire Joseph and his father to search for a silver stash that was rumored to be in northern Pennsylvania. And it is here in northern Pennsylvania that Joseph Smith Jr.'s life would collide with that of Emma Hale. Emma Hale's father was a sponsor for this search for the silver, and as such he would allow some of the men to live in his house and would also be there so that he could be a witness for each of the contracts that were signed. So when Emma first met Joseph, she noticed pretty quickly that he was pretty rough around the edges. He wasn't well educated, and he wasn't too refined, but he was a hard worker and good looking. Emma's parents noticed that she did kind of like Joseph, but they hoped that eventually her interest would end in him and that she would find one of the better suitors from a wealthier family in the nearby surrounding areas. However, this was not a deterrent for Emma, and she would start to see Joseph even more. Like all good treasure hunts, this silver hunt would end, resulting in not finding any silver. However, Joseph would take the opportunity he had in northern Pennsylvania to help out on the farms of some of the people nearby, one of these being Joseph Knight. When he wasn't working, he was visiting Emma. This would continue into the September of 1826, in which Joseph would return home so that he could go and try to get the plates once again. However, when he arrived, Angel Moroni would appear once again and tell him that he needed to quit the company of the money diggers. They weren't the best of company. They weren't the best people who would help Joseph prepare to receive the plates and to do the Lord's will. Moroni would instruct Joseph again to return the next year and repeat that instruction from a few years back, in which he would say to bring someone certain to the hill. Joseph would ask Moroni, "Who is the right person?" Moroni would respond, "You will know." Continuing with this, Joseph would seek through the seer stone to know who the right person was. Joseph would soon find that Emma Hale was the right person to bring to the hill. Joseph really liked Emma. Joseph knew that Emma could help him not only become the person God needed him to become, but he wanted to marry her. That same December of 1826, he told his parents that he had decided, if they had no objections, to marry Emma Hale. Joseph's parents loved this decision, and they encouraged Joseph and Emma to come live with them once they were married. In January of 1827, Joseph would propose to Emma. Emma would accept, but knowing her parents wouldn't like it, decided to elope. They were later married that same month in the house of the local justice of the peace. Joseph and Emma would move into his parents' new home in Manchester. About this same time, people would have heard of the plates and started searching around for them, knowing that they existed in the area. Sometime later, after going into town, Joseph would not return home the time he said he would. Coming home after dinner, he would go through the following. "Why are you so late?" his father asked. "I have had the severest chastisement that I ever had in my life," Joseph said. "Who has been taking you to task?" demanded his father. "It was the angel of the Lord," Joseph replied. "He says I have been negligent. The day of his next meeting with Moroni was coming soon. I must be up and doing," he said. "I must set myself about the things which God has commanded me to do." In the fall of 1827, Josiah Stowell and Joseph Knight would be visiting the area on business. They knew that it was close to the time in which Joseph was going to go try to get the plates once again. Others also knew it was about the time for Joseph to get the plates. A certain man named Samuel Lawrence, in particular, would be scouring the hill for the plates, hoping that he would be able to find them. In preparation to intervene with treasure seekers, Joseph would send his father to visit Samuel Lawrence's house the night of the September 21st to keep him away from the hill. Joseph would take Emma to the hill, arriving just after midnight on the morning of September 22nd. Joseph would go uncover the stone. Moroni would appear. Joseph would collect the plates and the seer stones. Moroni would instruct him to show the plates to nobody. He would also give him the following instructions. "You will have to be watchful and faithful to your trust, or you will be overpowered by wicked men, for they will lay every plan and scheme that is possible to get them away from you. And if you do not take heed continually, they will succeed." Joseph would hurry the plates down the hill, secure them in a log, and quickly go home. Returning to the house, seemingly empty-handed, Joseph would appear to have failed once again. This would lead to the following exchange. "I am disappointed," he said to Joseph Knight. "Well," the older man said, "I am sorry." "I am greatly disappointed," Joseph repeated, his expression changing to a smile. "It is 10 times better than I expected." The next day, Joseph would be working on a well for a neighbor, trying to raise money for a lockbox so he could further secure the plates. While Joseph was away, his father overheard some men vowing that they would take the plates at whatever cost it took. Joseph's father would send Emma to go tell Joseph of the threat. Joseph would look into the urim and thummim and would see that the plates were secure. Joseph and Emma would travel home and let Joseph's parents know that they were indeed secure. However, Joseph knew that now was the time to act. Immediately, Joseph ran to the hill. He would take the plates out of the log, wrap them in his shirt, and quickly set off for his house. Joseph chose to stick to the woods, knowing the road would be too obvious for people who were trying to take the plates from him. However, because he chose to take this more obscure route, it would allow thieves to hide and try to steal them from him should they choose to. The plates were heavy in Joseph's hands. As he continued his route home, he would encounter 3 separate men. The first he would knock down. The second he would get in a fight and escape. The third, he had to deliver a heavy blow before finally being able to make it to his home. Joseph would burst through the house door, exclaiming that he finally had the plates. Not long after, Joseph would ask his youngest brother, Don Carlos, to go run to his older brother Hiram's house to get a lockbox so he could better secure the plates. Joseph's brother William and his father both wanted to see the plates. However, Joseph would have to tell them no, that he'd been commanded by Moroni to not show them to anyone, and that he was striving to be faithful to all the commandments given him. After a short period of time, Hiram would arrive with the lockbox. After securing them in said box, Joseph would collapse on his bed, exhausted from what happened that day. And that is where this video will end off today. But I want to quickly return to that question I asked you right at the beginning. Hope you paid attention. What do you do to prepare yourself for every situation you encounter? I think it's truly remarkable that Joseph wanted to be the man God had asked him to be. Joseph wanted to acquire the plates. Joseph wanted to be faithful to each of those commandments he had been given. But something that we've been able to observe throughout Joseph's story up to this point is that he lacked experience in preparation. Because of this lack of preparation, he was not able to receive the plates until the 4th time he would go to the hill. The remarkable thing here is that God never put Joseph down for not being prepared. Instead, he gave him another opportunity to prepare. Instead, he would give him warnings. He would help him to understand those promptings and that these experiences he was having with angels were something to pay attention to. They were to help him prepare. God didn't distract him from preparing. God didn't try to throw him off his path. God, in fact, helped him in every step of the way. I think that is an important lesson for us to learn too, that we need to prepare ourselves, whether that be in a temporal sense with preparing food storage, or whether that be a spiritual sense in which we are building our faith and maintaining our testimonies. I think it's something that we all need to learn, that we can all be better at. And what better knowledge to have than God will help us in this endeavor. Thanks for watching this video. Please share this with people who have questions regarding the history of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It can be a helpful guide for them. But that is all we have time for today. If you have any questions, feel free to message us. We love answering those. Or you can simply read the book Saints. It describes it better anyways. But with that, I will bid you farewell until next week.